What's going on, everybody? Um, it is me, the jerk. I don't know. I used to have a little saying or a little like opening, whatever, and then I changed the name of the podcast. And anyway, I don't know. I just think it's kind of corny anyway, so whatever. Let me know. Do you miss it? Do you care? I don't think it's a big deal. But anyway, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Politics wise, things are looking pretty good. Things are looking up. Um, the current administration, is just dropping every ball that's thrown at them. I mean, they look like complete idiots. I don't know how people can still, blue no matter who kind of thing, and it's the same thing on the right side too, but it's like there's got to come to a point where you're like, gosh, this person is just, yeah, this ain't gonna work. So it's like, again, I can understand you don't like Trump, but to sit there and like pretend like Harris and what's his face is good, and you're gonna vote for them, you know what I mean? It's like, what? Like, I can understand, like, I hate Trump. I can't vote Republican, but I'm not going to vote for Harris because she's a complete idiot. So, like, I get it, I guess, but I don't know. It's just, but it goes both ways, and there are people just, no matter what is done, said, or whatever, they're going to vote the way they vote. That's crazy. Like, I just voted, well, not just, it's been like 2 weeks now. And, so I'm registered with Utah because that's where I lived last. And so that's where I get my emails to vote for, and my, mail-in ballot stuff, or electronic ballot. And so I try and research the individuals that I'm voting about, you know what I mean? So like if I don't, obviously, I voted for Trump and stuff, but then there was like other people, judges and certain people, I didn't care what Republican, I was looking to see what they've actually done and what they say and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I don't really consider myself like a conservative, It just kind of depends on the platform and what their history and their accomplishments and what their, all that kind of stuff. I think that's what matters. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about politics, even though I do every single time. I was actually going to share just kind of an interesting story. I've been wanting to get a motorcycle for a while now. I had a moped briefly for about a year or something like that. It was a new moped. It was a Yamaha NMAX. Nice little moped. It's great to get around town here because it is such a hassle sometimes to go into town and try and drive through the streets and find parking in a vehicle. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane. So it's so much easier to have a moped to just do some errands in town and everything. But I was so we had the moped, but it wasn't working. Like, I was like, I want to get something a little, it was only like 150cc. So we sold it, and I was like, I kind of want to get a motorcycle to go on some rides and stuff like that, But then it's like, if I go on I wouldn't use the motorcycle for going into town. You know what I mean? And I was looking at, so obviously first thing you're looking at is Harley, right? But then Harley's all retarded now. So I was looking at Indian, but they're so expensive. And it's just like, gosh, man, I don't want to, even if I had the money sitting, like laying right here, I don't know if I want to pay that much for a motorcycle. It's just, gosh, I don't know. I know it's a little bit of an investment, it can be or whatever. But anyway, so I was looking at Royal Enfields, which are one of the oldest, if not the oldest motorcycle company, I think, in the world. They originally were made in England, and they were used during, I want to say World War One is when they started, but I could be wrong. It might be World War Two. But they would use them for messengers and stuff like that. It's probably World War Two. I'm trying to think. Probably World War Two. Anyway, um, and so they were there for a long time, but then they got bought out by a company, I guess, in India. So they're produced and made in India, but they're well made. They're like, they're like really. Well, I mean, I can't. I'm speaking from research, and reviews that I've looked at. It. I don't own one, so, but they're well made. They're basic. And they're cheap though, because they're made in India, so they're way cheaper than any other motorcycles. But they have like a classic look. They have other ones that are a little more, contemporary kind of look. But it was kind of, I like the old school kind of look, and so I was like, yeah, man, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I've been kind of eyeing one of those, But like I said, so now here, I mean, you got to wear a helmet, which is fine. But now they're making people wear reflective tire, which is fine. It's like in the military, they had you do the same thing. So you got to wear like a vest and stuff like that. But I don't know. I was like, I don't really want to get on, so if I get this motorcycle, then it's like I'm thinking I'd, get some boots and some pants and go on like a little ride, go on like, an hour or two ride out in the country to kind of just collect my thoughts and, just ride, and then, but it's like, but I wouldn't take it to go to the store real quick. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to get on there with my flip flops and you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. It just didn't, it wasn't jiving, so I was I'm just been debating and whatever. So, but anyway, so I did get something. I asked my wife for an Indian, and this is what I got. So I'm gonna, for those that are on the podcast, are losing out on. So I'm adding a video that I took of what I got. So what I ended up getting was I asked my wife for an Indian motorcycle, and I get a Bajaj, which is the Tok that are made in India. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's in the I guess it's in the last Indiana Jones movie, which I didn't see, but I remember seeing like a clip, and it's like there's a little, chase scene, and they're jumping between, and they're riding through India, and it's in one of the little Tok. So that's what I got now. My wife, like I said, I asked for an Indian motorcycle, and I get the what do you call them? So they call them like Toks or something. The company's Bajaj or Bajaj with like a silent J on the end, but they're also called what is it? No, I can't think of what it is. But anyway, so it's basically a three-wheeled motorcycle, like a tricycle, but it's got a roof. It's like part car, golf cart, motorcycle. It's a crazy contraption. But they're also really well made, and they're very popular all over the world. Not all over, I mean, because I don't think they have them in America, but it's cool though. I mean, actually, so my wife. Now, granted, I'm being a little dramatic here, so she told me that that's what she was getting. So it's not like I had my helmet on and my leather jacket, and I'm waiting there for my wife to show up. With my new motorcycle or something, and then all of a sudden she shows up in this, so, and part of the reason we got it was because she has a franchise. So I've talked about it before, they have a lot of tricycle drivers, which are basically taxi. So just picture taxi driver, picture New York with all the taxis, and you have, the other, what are they called? I don't know, the other, services online. I can't remember what they're called now because I've been here so long. but they used to have the mustache on it, and Uber. There we go. There's Uber and some other ones. But so just picture all of those, but as little tricycle drivers. So it's a little motorcycle with a side cart. So that's like, all over the place. Some people it's extra money. For some people it's their only money. For some people it's their only vehicle. So you'll see some of those loaded up like crazy. And I've talked about them before, but so they're all over, right? And to have one of those and to use it to, as a service to give people rides and make money, you have to have a franchise, what they call. It's like a license, basically. So my wife has one, or at least it was her mother's who passed away. So she has it, and she needed to get a vehicle to attach it to, basically, right? So we had to get this Bajaj Talk. I call it a Tic Tac. So we could, combine it with the franchise. Now I'm not gonna. So she's got all the paperwork, and I got the little placard on the back, but I'm not gonna give anybody any rides. I mean, maybe, I don't know. If I do, I wouldn't charge them. You can't just like go in and start taking people. Like there's a system and there's rules. So it's like I could piss certain tricycle drivers off or something. So it's not like I'm just going to show up to where they go and hang out and be like, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm going to do this too. But like if I'm going through a neighborhood and somebody's like flagging us down thinking that we're, and I might stop and be like, where are you going? They're like, oh, I'm going to go to the market. Oh, cool. Hop in. Take them to the market and then just not charge them. But I don't know, that might piss people off too. Because they'll be like, man, that's a fare that we could have had, or I don't know. But the goal is not for me to start driving a tricycle or, taxi thing around town. It's just, but anyway, so that's kind of the reason behind it. And so now though, we have this Bajaj, Talk, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty cool. For those that are watching the video, you saw I did a quick little review of it. So those are on the podcast. I'll kind of talk about it a little bit. But it's, it's like I said, it's part golf cart, part motorcycle, part small car. I don't know. So it's basically, it's an enclosed motorcycle. It's got headlights, windshield wiper. It's a roof, got a back seat. It's a small motor, but it drives like on your foot. You have a brake on your right foot. You got your throttle on your right hand. And then on the left, you have the clutch, and that's how you shift it. So you pull the clutch and you turn, the grip to shift it into the different gears. And it looks like, when you look at it, it looks like there's 3 emergency brakes. So one is an emergency brake. The one in the middle is actually when you want to go in reverse. So you pull that up and it puts it in reverse, and then you just put it in first gear and it'll go backwards. And then you got to release it so you can go forward. And then the one on the left is if your battery's dead or whatever and you need to start it. So it's like a pull start. You just pull the lever and it, turns it on. So it's got a little speedometer. It tells you when it's in neutral. It's got a gas gauge, blinkers. That's it. It's pretty basic, but it's a nice little machine. I actually kind of enjoy riding it. And I'm kind of glad that we got it instead of another moped, because I was looking at getting another Yamaha, like X-Max, which is a bigger one, more power. So I was kind of debating between that and the Royal Enfield, but this is kind of nice. It's like I don't have to wear a helmet. I don't have to do all. I can just jump in, go whatever. It's got room for stuff. Got room for my family. We can all fit in it. It's a little tight if we're all in it, but like I just dropped the kids off to school with it today, and still trying to get the hang of it, the shifting and everything, but it's kind of cool, and it's keeps you dry if it's raining. I'm not gonna get wet, but it is still kind of hot. So like I went and bought like a little car, 12 volt. You plug in the cigarette lighter fan, so I can have some air circuit. Because that's the only thing I don't like about it is it should have remember like the old trucks that had the little wing windows that you could open the window and turn it and like the wind would come in. It's like, free AC. Or like, the old Willys Jeeps, like at the windshield, you could open a vent and some air would come in as you're driving. It doesn't have anything like that. So it's just like if you're in the back seat, you get the airflow, so you're kind of, it's not too bad. But as the driver, because it got the windshield around, it's like it's kind of hot. And so I was like, I need to get a fan somewhere in here just to kind of, and this kind of goes off story a little bit. But so I went to a little hardware store that they have at the mall here, and I was looking for like a fan that had a suction cup that could just, because the windshield's like a curved windshield, so I could just stick it in the windshield, and I got a fan for me. So that's what I was kind of looking for. So I go there and I ask the person, and he's like, oh no, here's some fans here, and like that's the thing that, and I really don't want to dig on Filipino, and it's not all of them, but it just seems like when I go to hardware stores and certain stores, like the people that work there, what's funny is like to get a certain job, like a job that you can get in the States, like in high school still, maybe not necessarily, maybe a little after, but you only need like a high school diploma to get it. Here, you got to have an associate's degree to go work at McDonald's or to do other stuff. But the thing is like they don't really know anything about like whatever. So it's like we went to the auto parts aisle, and this has happened more than once in different occasions. But so for this time, went to the auto parts aisle, and I was asking like, hey, do you have a fan? And they had like this little one, and it was like a USB plug-in, and I didn't want that because I knew I had the little cigarette lighter thing that was in the Bajaj, the TikTok, whatever. And so I needed that plug, and then I was like, there was nowhere really to mount. I didn't want to do this like a double sticker because I was like, there's nowhere to really do it. So I was thinking, okay, suction cup. I can put it on the windshield, there we go. And I was like, I don't know if it'll stay there. It gets hot. Sometimes they, but that's what I was looking for. And the guy's like, this is all I got. And it was just like a little double fan that plugged in. So I was like, okay. So I took that and I was like, I'll figure it out, right? And so I did. I mounted it to like a little overhead compartment that's above there. It's just like it's like a soft skin, but it's rigid. And you open it up, there's like a little light there, so you can turn on a light at night, like a little dash light. And there's a little compartment, kind of like a glove compartment sort of thing. You can stick some stuff up there. So I put a brace and I mounted the fan to that and ran the cord. And it actually works out really great. There's a fan right there. I can blow it on right in my face. So it's nice. I'm thinking about getting like a small box fan and wiring it up and sticking it in the back of it so it can kind of blow air there too. But anyway. But yeah, so we went back yesterday, same place, because we had to get some other stuff. And I was like, I'm going to see what other kind of fans they got, because I'm thinking about this like tiny box fan to put in the back. And so we go to the same aisle, same place. And I'm just kind of looking. And then I look up, or maybe did this guy, he's like, hey, there's something. And I was like, I look up and I see some other fans, and they got dust on them. So basically, these fans were there the last time I was here, but I didn't see them. And then I pull one down, and it's exactly the thing I was looking for last time. It's a suction cup, oscillating fan that plugs in. I was like, what the crap? This is what I was looking for last time. And it's just like, what? They just, I don't know. The customer service, just kind of like the driving sucks. People can't drive here for shit. But the customer service here is either horrible or awesome. There is no mediocre, They will either go out of their way and know exactly what you need and just really kind of, make your shopping experience great, or they're just clueless and they're like, I'm just at work. They don't get, whatchamacallit. When you're a salesperson, commission. They don't get any commission or anything like that. So I don't know. It's just, again, it's a culture thing that I'm still trying to get used to, but it's just, but I mean, looking at it though, I think I'm kind of happier with the fan that I got. So it's not a huge deal. Like I'm actually kind of glad I didn't see that, because I probably would have, because I'm thinking that suction cup one would have fall off after a while, and this and that. This one I know is not going anywhere, and it kind of worked out really good. But I'm just trying to emphasize sometimes like when I go to, like if I go to their hardware store, their Lowe's, which is called Wilcon, and they follow you around, man. Like you go walking through and they're just like, hi sir. And they just kind of follow you around. Not that they're thinking I'm going to, like, that's just how their job is, And then I'll sit there and I'll be looking at I don't know, like drill bits, and they got a couple different brands, and I'm just like, so which one's like the best one, you think? Or which one does, I'll ask them a question, and they'll just kind of grab what I got, and they'll read. And I'm like, dude, I can do that. I know how to fucking read. I can read what, like, I just want, in the States, and I know it's like, I'm not in the States anymore. I get it. But it's just, you have, oh, sorry about that. Hit the microphone. All right. Maybe push it forward a little bit. But I got to be a little closer, I think. I don't know. I'm trying to like have a nice, but generally people kind of know a little bit about what their work in the area, electronics, electrical, plumbing, whatever. So it's just, I kind of wish that they would, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if like they assign someone like a certain area and it's like, hey, you need to learn everything about it, or if they just kind of move around and they just kind of know where stuff is. Basically, they don't really know, like you think they would know, like, okay, a lot of contractors like this one. I hear this one's good, because it's like usually I'll sit there and like there's like a couple different brands. I'm like, which one's a good one? And I was like, is this one good? They're like, yes, sir. And I'm like, okay, well, how good? What, what I mean? It's just like, I don't know, they just, or they'll usually, it's either that or they'll just grab the more expensive one. Like, this is the good one because it's expensive, but I don't know. So, I mean, and again, sometimes they're like, well, no, this one's pretty good. This is a good brand, Like I said, sometimes they know, sometimes they don't, but it's just little stuff like that. I was looking for that fan and they didn't know. I don't know, but it worked out. So I'm not, I actually kind of like the fan that I got. I think it's better anyway. But that's it. That's kind of what's been going on with me. My time's about up, and plus I got the video part, so it's going to be a little bit longer on the video. So I think that's it. That's all that's been going on with me. Let me know if you got questions about anything, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. God bless. All right, bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.